Presidential inauguration. Do you, Ronald Reagan, swear to be the best president we've ever had?
Shoot yeah!
Welcome to the U.S.
I'm here at the 1980 Winter Olympics held in Lake Placid, New York. Behind me we have U.S. and USSR hockey teams preparing for their game later today. Go USA!
On May 18th, 1980, disaster struck our country when Mount St. Helens erupted, killing 57 people and spouting 54 million tons of ash into the atmosphere.
The camera!
The Sony Walkman is a
The Sony Walkman was the first portable audio cassette tape player, and it was released in Japan July 1st, 1979, but it was brought over to the US June 10th, 1980.
I'm Mark David Chapman. In 1980, I assassinated John Lennon. I'm Sandra Day O'Connor. In 1981, I was appointed to be the first female Justice of the Supreme Court.
In 1981, MTV began broadcasting for the first time. The new cable channel was out to pioneer a new frontier in music broadcasting, and for that, its first few minutes on air were very appropriate. At 12:01 a.m. August 1st, they played footage of 1981's space shuttle launch and the 1969 moon landing, both set to rock music, followed by the first music video in the channel's history, The Buggles' Video Killed the Radio Star.
In 1981, DuPont bought out Conoco for $7.3 billion, the largest merger in U.S. history.
Released on June 12, 1981, Raiders of the Lost Ark became the year's top-grossing film and remains one of the highest-grossing films ever made, with $389.9 million in the box office. It was nominated for 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and won 4 for Best Art Direction, Film Editing, Sound, and Visual Effects.
In 1981, Space Shuttle Columbia brought astronauts to space.
In 1981, the Dodgers beat the Yankees.
You lose! World Series champs!
September 1st, 1982 was the first International Day of Peace.
What are we about to do? It's 1982. We're about to go get some new McNuggets from McDonald's. Ah! Okay, can I get the 4-count nuggets, please?
4 nuggets, what sauce?
No sauce, please.
Is that all for you?
Yes, ma'am. McNuggets!
I'm here on site on the coast of Texas where Hurricane Alicia is wreaking havoc. 22 have already died and there have been $3.8 billion in damages.
Released on June 11th, 1982 by Universal Pictures, E.T. was an immediate blockbuster, surpassing Star Wars to become the highest-grossing film of all time, a record it held for 11 years until Jurassic Park surpassed it in 1993. It is the highest-grossing film of the 1980s.
In 30 years, personal computers have gone from $10,000 investments that not many people could afford to smartphones that can easily access the internet, make calls, and video call. Back in 1982, that reality was just coming into fruition, and that's when Time magazine decided to showcase personal computers as the machine of the year for the seemingly unlimited potential of the future.
1982. Sally Ride, first woman in space.
In 1983, crack was introduced to the United States, which led to America doing a Just Say No drug campaign.
Michael Jackson's Thriller was released on December 2nd, 1983, and was number 1 on the top 300 Billboard charts for 37 weeks, the longest any album has stayed number 1. On October 23, 1983, 237 U.S. Marines were killed when terrorists planted a truck bomb in Lebanon.
On November 18, 1983, the beloved holiday movie A Christmas Story, written by Gene Shepard, was released.
This is nuts. Stop.
Hello?
Hello.
What's up?
Nothing. Just hanging out at my house.
Why'd you call me, man? On my cell phone.
Because I wanted to ask you out on a date.
No.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Cabbage Patch dolls were invented in 1983. By the end of the year, almost 3 million of the Cabbage Patch Kids toys had been adopted, but demand had not been met. Cabbage Patch Kids toys go on record as the most successful new doll introduction in the history of the toy industry. In December, they were featured on the cover of Newsweek.
In 1984, President Ronald Reagan was re-elected for a second term. President Reagan. We're rolling.
I, President Reagan, promise to be the most dope president this country has ever had for my not one but second term. Peace. It's 1984, and I just finished taping my new show on my VHS. Kylie, we're in the middle of a hurricane. Ah! Hurricane! No!
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was released on May 23, 1984 in America. It was the second movie in the series, accumulating a record-breaking of $45.7 million in its first week.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey.
Oh, sorry. Didn't see you there. I'm just rocking out to my new compact disc and my new compact disc player, or as the cool kids would call it, a CD. 1984, Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire while filming a Pepsi commercial.
On November 19, 1985, President Reagan arrives in Geneva for a summit with Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev to make an agreement on international diplomatic relations. On July 13, 1985, 72,000 people attended the Live Aid rock concert in London and Philadelphia. It raised over $600 million for African feminine relief. In 1985, Muslim gunmen captured a U.S. plane with 133 passengers. Only 39 were freed.
You secret spy music. You thought!
On November 20th, 1985, Bill Gates and Paul Allen released the first version of Microsoft Windows, which was the first personal computer operating system.
What's the year?
This is 1986. 7 people died because of this earthquake. What?
Wait, what earthquake?
The San Salvador earthquake. What?
Oh, how big is it?
5.7 on the Richter scale. What?
What?
In 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded. 7 crew members died, including Krista McAuliffe, who would have been the first teacher in space. It happened because of a rocket boost failure which blew up.
It took the United States Congress 16 years to finally endorse a national holiday for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But it finally happened. And here in Atlanta today, which was the seedbed for his commitment to civil rights, there's been a major celebration. There was a parade, though some still called it a march. There may have been several 100,000 people in the streets of Atlanta. It was reminiscent in some ways of Dr. King's funeral in 1968. Marching up to freedom.
In 1986, a company called Fujifilm created the disposable camera. It was very popular at the time. Can I go?
Yeah, you're good.
Alright, on May 16th of 1986, Tom Cruise starred in the famous movie Top Gun, and he was hot. The stock market crash of 1987, or Black Monday, was the largest one-day market crash in history. The Dow lost 22.6% of its value, or $500 billion, on October 19th, 1987.
Aretha Franklin was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
1987.
One of the best black female singers ever.
PowerPoint was created in 1987. It was created by a man named Robert Gaskins. It was originally named Presentation. Yeah. More than 30 million presentations are created daily.
On April 1st of 1987, there were major floods in Maine, and it killed 20 people and like a bunch of $1 million in damage. I feel moist.
In 1987, the Giants defeated the Broncos by a score of 39-20, winning their first ever Super Bowl.
Boom! Touchdown!
Living on a Prayer hit the #1 in the Hot 100 charts in February of 1987, and it stayed there for 4 weeks. It is easily one of Bon Jovi's most recognizable hits.
My name is George W. Bush. This is Michael Dukakis. And in the 51st presidential election in 1988, we ran against each other. And I beat him by 300 electoral votes and won the election. On July 3rd, 1988, Iranian Air Flight 655 was carrying 290 passengers when America shot it down with a guided missile cruiser from the USS Vienna. According to the United States government, the crew incorrectly identified as an attacking F-14 Tomcat fighter. America paid $61.8 million to compensate the families. In 1988, wildfires broke out in Yellowstone National Park, affecting 36% or 800,000 acres of the park. It was very bad. Took years for the park to recover. Rain Man was released in 1988 and was the highest grossing movie of that year, with a box office price of $354 million. Rain Man also won 4 Oscars. I, Philip Leader, I'm a researcher at Harvard, and I came up with the first genetically modified patent in April 1988. So now I can turn things like this into things like this. Yeah. Brutus. Yo, Brutus. Hey. Look at me. Look at me. 1988, the Washington Redskins won their second Super Bowl victory and 4th NFL title. They beat the Broncos 42-10. On December 20th, 1989, the United States invaded Panama in order to bring its president, Manuel Noriega, to justice for drug trafficking. Under President Bush, this broke both international law and its own government policies. The Berlin Wall was a defining symbol of the Cold War. It separated East and West Germany for more than 30 years, but it finally fell in 1989. On March 24th, 1989, the Exxon Valdez crashed into the Bulge Reef in Alaska's Prince William Sound, causing the largest oil spill in American history. 11 million gallons of oil were poured into the ocean, which extended 45 miles. In 1989, Tim Berners-Lee created the World Wide Web. He saw that millions of computers were being connected together through fast developing internet, and he made it easier to share information. In In 1989, Look Away by Chicago was number 1 on the Billboard Top 100. Walt Disney released The Little Mermaid on November 17, 1989, earning $211 million.